Thank you. First of all, thanks for being here. Great to have everybody here again, and really appreciate you supporting this event. Gary, the I Club did a fantastic job of putting this on, and the band, Spirit Squad, everybody pitching in makes it great. And you guys continue to be on a roll. As a hot roll of tickets you guys had over there. 3 pretty good gifts. That's fantastic. And Tom, great to have you and Alex with us. I have to start recruiting Alex. He's a potential tight end. I know you're thinking basketball, but he's got some height for 8th grade. And I'm hoping that Hawkeye Gold doesn't ferment. You know, we need to get moving here a little bit. Get going on that. But you know, the best, you've heard me say it many times publicly, the best part about my job clearly is the people I get to work with. And you know, Aaron represents that in the best ways possible. And it's funny, I got to thinking too coming in this morning, and I actually drove by Dubuque Street and ended up in the coffee shop parking lot, because I started thinking about the group that we had in 2001, Aaron's senior class, and you know, there was a real turning point for our football team and program at that point. Start thinking about the guys on the roster that were there, and we had Bruce Nelson here last week to visit with the team and be with the team Friday and Saturday, and some of the points that Bruce made. And Bruce and Aaron are a lot alike in a lot of ways. From small town Iowa, came here, and very different in different ways too. Bruce was an unheralded walk-on. He corrected me. I knew he was 4th team tight end when we got here. He corrected me. He said he was 15, but it was Slash, another guy in front of him, and then he was there. So at least we didn't make him a 16 tight end when we got here. But Bruce was a very unselfish guy. Moved, changed positions, and went on to have a fantastic career. Started every game for 4 years. Played a year after Aaron, a year younger. Aaron's circumstances were a little bit different. Aaron came in here, was highly recruited, and was playing a position pretty well, actually, when we got here in '99. He was a linebacker, and very unselfishly made the move to defensive end. And it was better for our team, and I think it proved to be better for Aaron down the road. But it was represented the kind of guys we have on the football team. And I may have told you to keep sawing wood, and it is about staying at it and believing in the process and believing in the people you're with. But that to me is the most important element of the whole thing. It's the people that you're dealing with. And I certainly had a lot of faith back then because I recognized that we had people like Aaron Campman on our football team, and we had a lot of other great ones too. But nobody was a better leader. Nobody was a stronger force on that football team during those years, the '99, 2000, 2001 years. And the Tommy Donatel story comes up. The quick story on that one, I remember first time meeting Tommy's dad, Ed. He was coming in on a scouting trip for Pro Day, and I wanted to visit a little bit earlier, so we did meet right up in the lobby up here. I picked him up and went into the office early before things got started and just had a chance to visit for an hour or so. And that is exactly how Tommy got here. Tommy was so impressed when they were up in Green Bay with Aaron and Matt Bowen, just the way they conducted themselves, the way they were doing things. They were both playing for Tom's dad, and I got one of the nicest letters I've ever gotten from Tom. I've never gotten a letter like this from a pro coach, but it was basically saying, because of Matt and Aaron, if I ever wanted to recommend someone to the Packers, he was more than willing. And Aaron's career, obviously, I think represented that. But we talked about the steals of the draft. We were talking about Marshall Yonda early. Marshall was a total steal a couple of years ago in the 3rd round. And Aaron going in the 5th, unbelievable. But you wonder, why the Packers are so well. Aaron Rodgers was a steal too. I think you could argue that where he got drafted. They've got a great eye for talent. So Aaron's had a tremendous career as a football player, but I think more importantly, you've probably got the sense of this. He and his wife Linda are just phenomenal people, and I think we're just so fortunate to have you guys back in our state, Aaron. So thanks for coming back. Great to see you. Again, clearly that's the best part of my job, and I'll touch on that a little bit later on too. There are 2 other people here I'd like to introduce. I saw Mark, I don't think Mark was introduced this morning, Mark Hankins, and our outstanding golf coach. Mark's done a tremendous job with his program, certainly, and we just got a new indoor facility that opened up, and I know you're excited about your facility as well, and that's going to be fantastic. So great to have you here, and congratulations. I hate to single people out, but we got Dick Woodard sitting over here too at the same table, who gets up at 4:30 on Fridays to come in here every time. So Dick, great having you here, and Tim, great seeing you. So great having everybody here. Last week was a positive step for our football team. I think we certainly did a lot of good things out there, and First of all, as we showed up ready to play in all phases, I thought, we knew it was going to be a tough football game against you, and I haven't played them in '05 and '09. One thing for sure, you can count on them to show up and play hard and play well, and they did that without a doubt. So our goal last week was try to improve and play our best football possible at that point. And, it wasn't a perfect game, but I think we did take some steps forward, certainly. Some things certainly that we're working on right now and focused on is getting off to a faster start defensively. We've played pretty well defensively from a points allowed standpoint, but we haven't gotten off to a good start in any of our ball games, really. So we'd like to start a little quicker here. We did some things better offensively last week, but we still need to be more proficient when the ball's in the red zone for a starting point, just to knock it in and get touchdowns. That's something that we feel like we can do a better job of, and certainly special teams are an area we're focused on as well. I think we have room for improvement there. But on the positive side, also, I thought our guys did a good job of responding last week. You and I took it down and scored right off the bat, and our guys answered with a touchdown drive and came back with another touchdown drive right after that. And then certainly Gary mentioned the Mark Weissman story. We had a lot of good stories last week, but none more pronounced than that. I hadn't thought about the comparison to Monte Ball, so that's a good one for sure. But things don't happen by accident typically, and Mark's a young guy that really caught our eye. He's ineligible to play last fall, so he transferred here from Air Force and caught our eye in the spring. Really, he just had a really outstanding spring, and then he elevated that this August. So we felt very good about Mark coming out of preseason training. And then last week, coincidentally, we worked a little bit at the running back position. Certainly not, had no clue of what was going to take place during the first half of the game. That wasn't the plan, but certainly, when he's called on, he did a great job. And I think it's just we've had a lot of great stories through the years, and we used to coin that phrase "next man in" when Aaron was playing. And that's what it's all about. It's about guys working hard, and when that opportunity presents itself, them going on and having success. And I know that's a cliche. Most cliches are pretty true in sports and life, I think. So, Mark's a great story. And again, I don't know if this is true or not, but legend has it. He left Air Force because he was tired of those guys bouncing quarters off his bed, the upperclassman, and got to the point where I guess he kept his bed made and just slept on the floor, and he figured, this isn't right. So I appreciate that, certainly. So we're glad that he's with us. And, just like last week, we moved on last Sunday. We flipped the page after we look at the tape and make our corrections and turn our sights to our next opponent. So, we're excited to be back in Kenny a third time, and next week will be an unprecedented fourth straight week. So that's a real positive. We play Central Michigan, and it's a little bit interesting with their football team. Their head coach, Dan Enos, actually quarterbacked Michigan State to a victory out here in '89. We ran out of downs in the south end zone. Got stopped on a fourth down. They went on and won the game that day, and he finished up his career in 1990. Most recently, he was on their staff up there recently before he went to Central Michigan. So there is a Michigan State flavor with their coaching staff. They've got some excellent coaches on their staff that do a wonderful job. And we're excited to face them. I'll talk about them a little bit more in a moment. Our captains are the same four captains. It seems like we're locked in there a little bit. We've got James Vanderberg, James Ferentz on the offensive side. No, he wasn't grounded last week. That's a good thought. I hadn't thought of that. I may take that to him for future considerations. And then we've got Micah Hyatt and James Morris on defense. So a great group of guys there. And then our honorary captain is a guy that Aaron's familiar with, one of his teammates, Chick Ejiazi. And really one of our themes through the course of this week, we've talked about special teams. We've talked about the role everybody has on the football team, and I think Chick really is probably representative anybody could be of what we're looking for the guys on our football team. Chick played high school locally up at Cedar Rapids Prairie, was an outstanding athlete, not just in football, an outstanding wrestler. Pretty unusual to find a guy who can wrestle and be a skilled athlete in football, and Chick was. And I don't know that Chick ever started a game. I don't think that he did here, but I know this. He's a very valuable team member, played excellent special teams for us, and was on that 04 championship team, the 02 championship team. And I think that was one of the things that, we've talked about a lot during the week. The 02 team was here last week, and Aaron can tell you the same thing. We had so many guys that never started games that were so valuable and such big contributors to our success during that period. And a lot of those guys were at practice last Friday, guys like Scott Boland and, guys that just did a great job without ever being starters, but they played a prominent role in our success. And I think it's one of the neat things about football. When you have so many people involved, 100 plus players on the roster, and I would guess upwards to 50, 55, 60 guys that play in a game. Everybody has an opportunity to impact the team in a really positive way. And when you don't have those players that aren't starters, if they're not making those contributions, typically those things show up. So I really thought Chick would be a really fitting guy to be our honorary captain this week. Excited to have him with us this afternoon and tomorrow. He's done a great job in his professional life too, so we're really happy about that. Again, going back to Central Michigan again, it's a little bit unusual. They've already had a bye week 3 weeks into the season, so we've seen them play against a FCS team, Southeast Missouri State. We've also seen them against Michigan State, and it's a real contrast there. But a couple things I could tell you again: they're a good running football team. They've got a big veteran offensive line, 2 running backs that are big and physical, good group of receivers, and the quarterback is very veteran. So I think he threw for 2,500 yards in the MAC last year, 16 touchdown passes, or 19, I'm sorry, and has had 10 300-yard plus games. So he's a guy who can really throw the football well. And defensively, they're different than anybody we've played thus far. They're really a gambling team. They'll come at you with a lot of pressure and take some chances in terms of the way they cover. They're very aggressive, so we're going to have to really be on task mentally. Doing a totally different preparation for our team, which is good. And they've got a player number 4 who's an outstanding player, senior, who's a really dynamic guy. And he's one of those guys, if we don't know where he is at all times, that could be bad for our health. So we're keeping an eye on him. So moving forward, we've had a good week, I think. I think our guys have practiced well, but our week's hardly over. The most important part's about to take place tomorrow. So we'll try to finish up today and get our mental work done. Hopefully hit the field with a lot of energy and first of all, try to win the football game. That's our first goal. Obviously improve too. So it's going to be a big day for us. Hopefully you'll see our team play well, and we'll look forward to seeing you, Kenny. But again, thanks for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.